Okay, this video is going to be a roundup of the Windows Chicago series of videos for one main reason, which is I couldn't get any of the remaining builds to actually boot. So what I can show you is the RTM version of Windows 95, which I'm booting up now. And I'll just recapture the video as well. Right, I'm just going to cancel that. So, what's happened between build 189 and this build? Well, I'll just show you first of all, this build calls itself build 950, which is slightly strange because the release candidate build was build 501, so there's been a massive jump in build numbers. Now I know Microsoft these days have a tendency to, for a final build, round it up to some kind of, whole number. So for XP they rounded it up to 2600, which is a nice round number. I'm not quite sure about this one though. I don't know why it's gone up to 950. That seems a little bit strange. I'm not sure whether there's a bit of information that I'm missing there. Now, in between build 189 and this one, there was build 347, which was called the final beta release, and that's from March 1995. Then after that came build 468, which was called the May test release, which is from May 1995. And that was the first build that had the final sound scheme in it for Windows 95, so the Microsoft sound on startup, etc., and shutdown sounds. Then came pre-release candidate 1, which was build 490, and that's from June 1995. And then the actual release candidate 1, build 501, which is from June 1995. And then this one, Windows 95 RTM build. So the RTM build being from August 1995. Now, the RTM build is build 950. You'll notice that this one that I've got on here it has got a C on the end, 950C. That's because this is the most up-to-date version of Windows 95, and this is from November 1997. So this one has the OEM Service Release 2.5 installed, which is basically like a service pack. But they were called service releases at the time. Although I think actually there was one service pack for Windows 95, confusingly. But Microsoft have always been slightly confusing with the way they name updates. So Windows 8.1 Update 1, for example, which is just, why not call it Windows 8.2? I don't quite understand that. So yeah, this is the most up-to-date version of Windows 95, as you'd find it today. And really all the builds after the last one I showed you all look pretty much identical, and you can see even in this case it looks pretty much identical to the build in the last video. The only difference being that the colour is much better here because it's better supported by VirtualBox. So we've got some new screensavers, and I just had to reset there because it crashed, helpfully. So yeah, there are some new screensavers. I believe these 3D ones are new. So yeah, new screensavers. Where was I? Learn to stay away from them now because they're crashing it. Are there any new wallpapers? I don't think there are. If you go to appearance, you can see that all of the colour schemes have now been changed, and these are the ones that you will hopefully recognise. These are the ones that stayed in Windows until Windows XP, I believe, because I think in Vista they all disappeared because I remember porting them back over from XP because I was so annoyed. Obviously the actual classic theme, so like the Windows Standard theme with these colours, the grey one, was still present in Windows 7, but all of these other ones, different colours, lasted as far as XP, I believe. And again, they're all going to look slightly odd on here because I don't have a high colour depth in the virtual machine. Now it would help if the display adapter was configured properly, wouldn't it? But I don't think it's going to be. Right, let's have a quick look at control panel. So here's control panel. This cursor theme has a different name. animated hourglasses. Sounds, no, we won't be able to hear the sounds because the driver's not installed, I don't believe. But if you just YouTube it, if you don't know them, there's many videos on YouTube full of 95 sounds. And that seems to be about all I can show you, really. Nothing else is really different. Internet news, what's that? Haven't got an internet connection on here, I don't think. Okay. Oh, it's like an email thing. Okay. Mouse is very, very buggy. Let's look at help. So, if I was a new user, what would I do? I would go to help, then what would I do? If I didn't have a clue how to use this, what would I do? 10 minutes to using Windows. Let's have a look then. That's quite nice. So the tool's had an upgrade since I last saw it. Let's see if this part's the same. Starting a program. Click the start button. Well, I would if I could get the mouse there. Okay, I'll press the Windows key. Oh, I pressed the Windows key and it doesn't think I clicked it. Not very helpful. There you go, you can show me. You show me how to do it. Oh yeah, I didn't quite see that down there. Can't get my mouse there, unfortunately. Never mind. What else? Exploring your disk. Double click my computer. Double click the hard disk icon. To do. What do I have to do? Oh, I clicked it twice. I do apologise. Right, click the file menu to see what you can do with a Parks file. Click the edit menu. Pretty simple. Close. Now find the July report file in the reports folder. Okay, yeah. Close all the open windows. There you go. Oh, I didn't do that wrong. Lovely. Right, how about switching windows? I can't click the taskbar, never mind, we'll ignore that. Exit. Exit tool. Okay, well there you go. That will have to round up our Windows Chicago series because there are no more builds that I can get to work. And I probably could if I had enough time to fiddle with them, but I don't really, and especially with the Chicago builds, the later ones, they're all pretty much identical, so there wouldn't be anything remarkably interesting to even see in them, so I don't even think it's worth it. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about them, then you can go to the Wikipedia page for the development of Windows 95, and there's a lot of information there. That's where I get some of mine from. But otherwise, I will see you in the next series, which at the moment, at the time of recording, I'm anticipating to be Windows Longhorn, so I will hopefully see you very soon.